10 minutes to the place. Get out yourself when we arrive. Sir, are you from the headquarters? The headquarters at In Bureau doesn't have time for this, and no one knows you. What are you doing? Don't move. You're assaulting me. I'm a fugitive now. This follows the rules. Su Chen was a prodigy 8 years ago, but after that, he became ordinary. He lived as a normal person for 8 years. No violation records or physical specialties. That was to prevent any accidents. To ensure the expert team could catch him on the first day of the broadcast, to establish the institution's public credibility. Cut the feed. First, switch to the expert team. Welcome to the Chase broadcast. The 5 top experts responsible for this full search are now in position. Mr. Chui Liwan, with 30 years of experience, renowned as the top forensic expert of the Eastern Forensic Circle. Qin Ming, the trace master who makes corpses speak. Also a famous mystery novelist and psychology expert. Bai Su, with such formidable physical prowess. The criminal will have no place to hide. Now, let's switch to the live feed of fugitive Su Chen. Oh, come on, this episode's DD target isn't playing by the rules. Look at the screen. Mr. Chui, experts, thank you for your hard work. The kid's got good spirit. Busy at the bureau today. Stay sharp. Yes, sir. The Skynet system has taken over full surveillance. According to the earlier report, Su Chen abandoned the transport vehicle on Shiqing Road. He has no transportation. No money either, acting like an ordinary person. He'll likely head to the urban village, or alleys without surveillance coverage, as soon as he shows his face. I can lock onto him within 3 minutes. Don't care. Which department are you from? You look unfamiliar. Transferred from Shiqing branch for security support. Just reported in. What's your badge number? 093527. Teacher Bai. Mr. Chui wants you. What's going on? The firewall of the Municipal Public Security Bureau's internal network suddenly showed abnormal fluctuations. Data flow is spilling outward. Someone is attacking the internal network. Isn't Su Chen on the run? Does he have an accomplice? Check the IP address. It's right inside this building. IP address locked. It's in this building. 3rd floor, weak current equipment room. Evacuation team immediately locked down the 3rd floor weak current room. Report. Room is secure. No suspect found. He implanted a worm virus. The system is being rewritten. The Skynet system in Shiqing district is offline. He took the highest control authority. Not only did he infiltrate the municipal bureau, he paralyzed the tracking system in front of everyone. Just now in the hallway, I bumped into a young man in dark standard uniform. Badge number 093527. Check surveillance footage of the entrance and hallway. Notify all city patrol officers immediately. Suspect Su Chen has disguised himself and fled. Skynet is down. Switch to manual search. Boss, I need 30 gene of pork leg meat. 30 gene, restaurant supply. Please mince it into filling. Don't grind the bones in. Just cut into fist-sized chunks. Black plastic bag, make it sturdy. Hello, is this the newspaper office? I'm in the abandoned building behind Jinling University. I found a dismembered corpse. Report. The 110 Command Center forwarded a call record. A reporter from the Provincial Evening News received an anonymous tip, claiming an extremely severe crime scene was found in the abandoned building on the university's back street. Where would a fugitive get a corpse? Real or not? Dispatch officers immediately. Is it human? It's pork. The cuts are very clean. Avoided the hard parts. Deliberately selected joint areas for processing. And each piece is extremely uniform in weight. Highly consistent specifications. This is not ordinary processing. This is an extremely professional special skill. He's sending us some kind of challenge. Ha ha. Gui Yutong, you're from my dad's unit? You look familiar. Have we met? No. No, I'm sure I've seen you on TV. Wait. You're Su Chen, the murderer from that fugitive show. This is a setup. Are you going to use me for some special plan? I feel something's off, but I can't put my finger on it. You're not with some secret organization, are you? In this show, your current identity is a corpse. The number you dialed is switched off. Can't get through to Yutong. Maybe class and her phone died. Half an hour ago, she texted me, saying she'd wait for me at the school gate. But I never sent her any text. Chief, give me your phone. Your phone was implanted with a Trojan an hour ago. Someone used your base station signal. To spoof your number, they sent a text to Gui Yutong. Su Chen kidnapped my daughter. He's blocking me from tracking Gui Yutong's phone location. He's using proxy jumps to mask the IP. Now he cut the connection. Forensic Sheen, I retrieved nearby surveillance. Blind spot route. After dumping the meat, Su Chen headed toward Jinling University. Jinling University, minced meat, black plastic bags. Uniform weight. 20 years ago, a female student from Jinling University Medical School went missing. Evidence was found in black plastic bags. Clean cuts. Each piece about 500 grams. Right, Su Chen is not just provoking. He used pork to stage the scene and took the chief's daughter. He's using a global live broadcast to try and recreate the shocking cold case from 20 years ago. Find him before Su Chen carries out his next body dumping simulation. Officer, you brought me here. What do we do next? Hide for 30 days? You are a corpse now. A corpse doesn't need to lie. And doesn't need to go out. Then why do you need my phone? You logged into my chat app with my phone just now. Send a message to my roommate. Because you need a witness to prove the time and place of your last appearance. Why choose me? Why drag my roommate into this? Because of that campus murder 20 years ago. The victim was a young student. And your roommate is very obsessed with that case. Xiaoya is usually afraid of even bugs. The biggest liars in the world are people in this family. I recovered. Some of the underlying communication data from Gui Yutong's phone. His phone was implanted with a Trojan an hour ago. There was a brief network connection just now. Found the connected base station? The signal went through 3 proxy jumps. Finally disappeared in an old residential area in Xiqing district. Who was the recipient? Zhao Xiaoya, a junior architecture student at Jinling University. She is Gui Yutong's roommate. Zhao Xiaoya, female. 21 years old, local. Her parents died in a car accident 10 years ago. Introverted personality. Su Chen kidnapped Gui Yutong at the start. Now he's proactively contacting her roommate. Jinling University Jurisdiction Police Station. Send 2 plainclothes female officers to detain Zhao Xiaoya. Jinling University District Police Station. Send 2 plainclothes female police officers to detain Zhao Xiaoya. He could become Su Chen's next target at any moment. Right, a few intersections in the Western District. Just restored some surveillance footage. There's an unlicensed sedan that exited the blind zone 10 minutes ago, heading toward Yinjiang Road. Pull up the feed. Su Chen is on the move. Hey kid, what's in your bag? It's dripping water, making a mess everywhere. Spoiled frozen meat from the restaurant kitchen. Don't just dump bad meat anywhere. Throw it in the non-recyclable bin. Okay, thanks. Whoa, that's heavy. What kind of meat is this? Smells so strong. Found something extremely horrifying at the bus stop. Send someone here now. It's inside the trash bin. Bus stop number 3 on Yinjiang Road. Citizen reported. Inside the trash bin, found a second black plastic bag containing suspected dismembered remains. Second dump site. Less than 2 hours since the last one. He's moving too fast. He's not even trying to hide it. This is blatant body dumping. This isn't random. Look, starting from the university area, radiating outward along the main city roads. He's deliberately leading us along this line. What's he trying to do? Drain our manpower? He's displaying trophies or performing some kind of ritual. Qin Ming, Wang Yinhang, go to the scene and confirm incision marks. If the method matches, it means Su Chen's game has just begun. Copy leaving now. Target 2 is walking normally. No sign of Su Chen. Unit 1, note, he keeps looking at the glass shop windows. Maybe checking for a tail. Widen the gap. I'm at the front entrance, monitoring. You go around the side rear. Boss, do you have a restroom here? My stomach suddenly hurts. No public one inside. Go down the staff passage, push open the back door. There's a public toilet in the alley. Thanks. Target 2 went in, 3 minutes, still not out. Any movement on the side? Side exit, nobody. Something's wrong. Police. The girl in the denim jacket who came in just now? She said her stomach hurt. Went to the restroom out back. Command, we lost the target. Repeat, lost visual. Zhao Xiaoya used the convenience store's back door to slip away. She has extremely strong anti-surveillance awareness. Request immediate Skynet support. Consistent with the abandoned building find. It's pork leg meat. Clean cuts. Weight variance per piece under 50 grams. Coroner, there's something underneath. Airport Farmers Market, 30 gene of pork. Transaction time, 9:15 a.m. today. A highly intelligent fugitive. Wouldn't leave a receipt for buying meat. Inside a bag of body parts. He left it on purpose. Take a close look. Around 9 a.m. today, did this person come to your stall? He was wearing a black baseball cap, pulled down low. What did he buy? Any unusual behavior? He bought pork. A full 30 gene. A weird request, too. He specifically asked for 5 of the thickest black plastic bags, the kind for construction waste. After buying the meat, which direction did he go? He got into a black car parked on the street. Didn't see the plate. Command Center, West City Farmers Market. Confirmed suspect Su Chen. Bought pork. Go. That's Xiaoya. Wasn't the police watching him? How did he go to the abandoned building alone? Standard police surveillance techniques are more than enough for ordinary people. But Zhao Xiaoya has very strong anti-surveillance skills. What's he doing there? That place has already been flagged. The police might come back anytime. In criminal psychology, killers often have a compulsion to return to the scene. But you set up that scene. He didn't. He went to admire his own work. Or to see who's poorly imitating him, stealing his spotlight. The dismemberment case from 20 years ago. The real killer might be dead or old now. But Zhao Xiao is an obsessive fan of that case. I pulled footage from all exits and Skynet recordings within a 3 kilometers radius. Reviewing them. Found anything? 15 minutes ago, a girl in a mask with a black backpack got into a taxi at Jiangwo Road intersection. Plate number, Su A33928. Trace that taxi's route from a non-psychology perspective. If your roommate goes missing, a normal girl would be terrified, not shake off the police, and go alone to a dump site. Lock down the abandoned building immediately. Zhao Xiaoya is inside. Full perimeter lockdown. Suspect is extremely dangerous. Authorized to use coercive measures. Help. Stay where you are. Hands on your head. Zhao Xiaoya. Someone's been protecting you all along. Why did you run? I got a text from my roommate, saying something happened to him here. Told me to come alone. I saw someone following me. I thought they were bad guys. Report. Need to inspect the suspect's belongings. The female college student who disappeared 20 years ago was wearing this exact school uniform. The bloodstains have oxidized to dark brown. You're a current student. Why would you have evidence from that old case in your bag? Humph. Evidence from a 20-year-old cold case in a female college student's backpack? He collected evidence from that case. Even brought the murder weapon here to reenact that dismemberment. We've all been played by Su Chen. What do you mean? Buying pork and intentionally leaving the receipt, dumping bodies along the way. Everything he did wasn't a taunt us. He was setting a trap. Using this nationally broadcast show seen by tens of millions, he staged a high-profile crime scene simulation. With that simulation, he provoked the real killer and copycats hiding in the shadows. He flushed out the ghost, then let us catch it. The killer, Zhao Xiaoya, has been captured. Who the hell are you? Did you join this show just to solve the case? The police will soon trace Zhao Xiaoya's leads back to this hotel. And me? You're safe now. Miss Gua, you can go out and call the police. The traces on the item in your bag are linked to the parents of that missing female student from 20 years ago. There's a connection. This item is key to that case. Where did you get it? I bought it from a specialized online community. The seller claimed to be a participant in that incident. What were you going to do with the knife? I wanted to see the scene. If conditions were right, I wanted to see if I could do better. I planned for a long time. But Su Chen beat me to it. His method is wrong. Record and hand over to the prosecutor's office. He's a ticking bomb. Su Chen detonated it early. He also unearthed clues from the 20-year-old case. But he's a fugitive. The recipient is Chui Liwan. Who sent it? No sender info on it. The order was placed with a virtual number. The package was left in a designated locker for me to pick up. Express delivery. It passed security check. No metal or explosive reaction. Leave it there. Oh, by the way, first time meeting. The sound decibel sensor on this blind box has been activated. As soon as a sound above 50 decibels appears in the room, drunkard, danger. Get back. Expert Chui Liwan. According to the show's rules, you have been hit by a lethal explosive device. You have been eliminated. I understand. Duan, where are you going? Command center needs you. I can't track him with the department's equipment right now. I need to use my personal server in the car. That's where I have my custom low-level tracking code. Su Chen is an extremely dangerous variable right now. Going solo violates protocol. He's just a hacker and a con man. Just give me 5 minutes to connect to the server, and I can strip his IP obfuscation. You've been hiding in my car all along. Your personal server's firewall is slightly easier to crack than the city's internal network. The safest place is the most dangerous. To track me, you cut a few surveillance feeds in the garage. That helped me a lot. According to the rules, you have been physically eliminated. Emergency announcement. Less than 48 hours since the show started. 2 of our top experts, Chui Liwan and Duan, have been eliminated by the fugitive. The audience is questioning the expert's competence. The sponsor demands an immediate strategy change. Hey, the old generation expert team focused on traditional administration. They can't keep up with his pace. Notify the new pursuit team to assemble. We need field operatives who can apply physical pressure. Papa. No. I'm in a hurry to catch that boss named Su Chen. Speed 40 kilometers per hour. Avoid 3 Skynet cameras. Change clothes and exit in the blind spots. He calculated the rotation frequency and dead zones of every camera. This isn't intuition. This is precise mathematical modeling. I'm Detective Mei Uyama, on exchange from Sakura Country. Pleased to meet you. Skip the pleasantries. I don't care how smart Su Chen is. Once I set my eyes on him, he won't get away. You won't catch him. Your muscle reaction time is 0.2 seconds. His calculation speed is faster than yours. What did you say? I said our top priority now is to find him. Captain, are you still hiring magic assistants? Good looks. Quite tall. Have you done this before? I know a thing or two about delicate mechanisms and escape methods. Perfect timing. Our lead female assistant just called in sick. Put on the costume. There's a rehearsal this afternoon. Follow the magician through the blocking. If there are no issues, you go on stage tonight. The car was hijacked in the garage. From the garage exit to the nearest Skynet blind spot, the distance is 300 meters. An adult male, moving without drawing attention, walks at about 1.5 meters per second. He disappeared from surveillance at 2:10 p.m. He needs a place with a high flow of people and an internal surveillance system not linked to the city's Skynet to blend in. Based on terrain and time difference, within 40 minutes of leaving the garage, his movement radius won't exceed 3 kilometers. There are many blind spots within 3 kilometers. Shopping mall, underground street. No, Malls have their own security monitoring. He needs a place that's either mobile or temporarily set up. 2.5 kilometers from the origin point. There's a traveling circus that was set up yesterday. No fixed cameras there. SWAT Team 1, with me. Attention all units. The suspect may be in disguise. Screen all circus staff thoroughly. Don't tip him off. Wait for my order. If he's on stage, I can get a clear look. Stay safe, little girl. The newbie's first act is the vanishing person. I'll cover the cage with a cloth, and you go down through the trapdoor. Don't get stuck. Got it. They're fast. That assistant on stage is over 1.8 meters tall. The shoulder width doesn't match. Their stride and posture are feminine, but they're wearing a scarf to cover the neck. I'll go test them. Next, we need a brave volunteer from the audience. Sister, you're really beautiful. Can I give you a hug? The magician deliberately interrupted the contact. I couldn't get to him, but from close range, his physique gave me a strong presence. Shoulder width data is abnormal, and he deliberately uses the rearview mirror to block. You're already testing him. The circus interior is dimly lit. He could slip away any moment. Immediately seal off all backstage exits and entrances. Don't let a single fly out. Team 3, with me, we breach from the front audience area straight to backstage. Captain, there are large prop boxes on stage. He might use hidden compartments in the magic props. To relocate, check the bottom spaces. Move. Temporary support pillars everywhere, crammed with cubicles and changing tents. No way to tell which way he ran. Exit 1, no sign of target. Visibility is severely obstructed. Can your thermal imaging satellite scan his exact location? It's practical. Captain, the circus tent roof, to handle sudden weather, uses thick heat insulating and rainproof coating. Thermal imaging can't penetrate it. At your feet. There are prop box wheelchairs all over the floor. What? Since she threw away her heels, she must be running barefoot now. The backstage cement floor is very dusty. Bare feet can't leave clear footprints. Team 3, follow the footprints. With me, head toward the amusement area. Move fast. Captain, the footprints lead into this maze. This kind of amusement park mirror maze is specifically designed to disorient vision. Charging in blindly will get us dizzy, or even cause friendly fire. Assign 2 people to guard the entrance and exit. Do not let him slip out. Why aren't we using flashlights? It's very dark inside. It's all colored ambient lights. Strong light on multiple mirror surfaces will create intense glare bursts. That's basically blinding ourselves. It exposes our position in the dark. Once inside, maintain radio silence. The mirror angles are too tricky. All the light overlaps. We can't even tell which is the real path and which is a glass wall. I saw a silhouette, but when I moved, it was just a mirror. We're trapped in a visual illusion. Even we feel dizzy looking at it. There's no physical reference point here. Can you find a way out? This is a basic standard hexagonal honeycomb structure. This maze. Every mirror's angle is precisely 120 degrees. Just calculate the overlap count of reflected images in the video and the refractive attenuation rate, and we can reverse their absolute coordinates. Shuyong, listen carefully. Which way? Now close your eyes. In an environment like this, where the suspect could attack at any moment, close your eyes. Your vision has been completely fooled by these geometric mirrors. Every path you see could be a dead end. Don't trust anything your eyes show you. Trust my calculation. Take 3 steps forward. Reach out your right hand. You'll feel the seam between 2 glass panels. Push it to the right. The door opens. Ahead is a long corridor with no mirror reflections. Follow the corridor straight. Don't turn. According to calculations, directly ahead of you should be the maze's back door emergency exit. Professor Luo's geometric computing and spatial modeling abilities are truly astonishing. In such a short time, he derived the optimal solution for the honeycomb maze. But no matter how perfect the mathematical model, the premise is that this maze is static. What's happening? The path is blocked. The door ahead is gone. All the mirrors are shifting positions. The terrain of the logic maze has changed. The entire structure is restructuring. Can your optical reflection formula still work? The base coordinate system has been completely destroyed. Until we get a new internal view. I can't build a new spatial model. Everything around has turned into dead ends. We're completely trapped here. Should we force break the glass? These are laminated tempered glass. High explosion proof rating. Keep moving forward. Su Chen changed the terrain. Definitely not to trap you in place. He's pointing out a path. A new route he's already planned. Follow the only open channel now to the end. Let's see what he really wants. Hello? Captain, the door is locked. It's jammed from the outside. Can't push it open. Turn on tactical flashlight to check surroundings. Huh. We've entered a huge iron cage. All around are welded steel bars. The top is also sealed. There's no exit here. He's treating us like circus monkeys, displaying us in public. Captain, this cage is welded with rebar. Below the stage are dense crowds. If we shoot to break the lock now, it could cause mass panic in the venue and a stampede. Are we just going to stand here and be laughed at by tens of millions of live viewers? I'm just an ordinary performer. Just now backstage, a very tall man gave me 500 yuan cash. Told me I must at this point hand this letter to the people in the cage. I don't know anything. Su Chen had someone pass a note. It's all gibberish. Looks like some kind of code. These are encrypted characters. No regular spelling pattern. I'll contact the cybersecurity department immediately. Have them use a mainframe to decrypt it. The expert team is used to complicating simple problems. This is the oldest, most basic cryptography. Caesar cipher. That's a classical cipher. What's the specific shift? Do you need paper and pen to calculate? I look at him. The language center of my brain already automatically translated it. The note translates to, I'm in the maze. Next stop, Beijing City. That's a heavy industry city in the neighboring province. He's telling us his next escape route, directly in advance. This is to mislead our investigation direction. No, he's not misleading. He's calling me out, declaring war. Notify Beijing City Police. Raise the highest level alert. Su Chen is coming. Young man, why are you hitching a ride to Beijing City in the middle of the night? Not really. Just looking for someone to play a game of chess. Nowadays, you young people, still like playing chess? Seeing you travel overnight for chess. Your chess skills must be very high, top tier. But after tonight, in this world, no one should be able to beat me on the board. Core project simulation complete. Host used psychological traps and mechanical trajectories, successfully toyed with, and physically defeated the top expert team and SWAT captain. Live nationwide. Total live viewers across all platforms. Exceeded 80 million. Global shock value collected. Reached the current phase's reputation peak. Enhancing memory, logical reasoning ability, and neuron reaction speed. Host will possess the equivalent of top-level Deep Blue Computer's parallel reasoning ability. Infallible calculation. Huh. Professor Luo, since you're unconvinced by my mathematical model, then, hope you'll be satisfied with this next resume. Dear children, and the referee teachers beside you. Excuse me. Please everyone stop your chess moves immediately. Leave your seats, hands on your heads, gather in the open area in the center of the hall. What are you doing? What are you wearing? As long as you fully cooperate with my instructions, I guarantee no one will feel uncomfortable. Immediately connect this hall to the external network. Live broadcast signal. Stream the hall's surveillance feed out. Are you crazy? There are so many people here. What exactly do you want to do? As soon as I touch this sensor, the mission enters the next phase. Our public network signal has been hijacked. The source is inside the Beijing City Chess Academy's internal network. It's Su Chen. What is Su Chen doing? He's trapped 30 innocent children. Does he want to turn this confrontation into a disaster? Good morning, members of the expert team. Professor Luo, you should be able to hear me, right? What psychological game are you playing? The explosive yield in the vest has been precisely calculated by me. Enough to blast through the load-bearing walls of this hall. Raise this place to the ground. I don't want any ransom. Nor do I want you to prepare a helicopter for escape. There's only one way to disarm the detonation program. Professor Luo, please use the computer at the command center to connect to this electronic chessboard system in front of me. This chess endgame, as long as you beat me, I'll immediately stop the countdown device and surrender. Jinling command, Beijing City SWAT Squad has fully surrounded the Chess Academy building, but the main entrance and windows have been fitted with infrared sensors by Su Chen. Our observers can't find any angle to intervene. Forced action could easily trigger the system's emergency lock. The scene is too complex. Damn, this is an absolute dead end. He has 30 children, forcing us to play his game. Professor Luo, do you know how to play chess? Only know the basic rules. I've never systematically studied this kind of chess game. Then how will you play against him? Since he dared to risk his life to set up this challenge, it means he's an absolute top expert in this. Aren't you just going to die? In my understanding, chess is not a game of intuition based on experience. It is essentially a mathematical exhaustive model containing traps. What it compares is not skill. Professor, it's your turn to move. A word of advice. The first move in this endgame is critical. One wrong move, and you lose the whole game. Free advance 4. No. Black crashes into green. Checkmate 5, 0,0,0,2:5. The facing chariot falls into a dead loop. Only move the horse. Horse 6 to 8. Fast reaction. Professor Luo, but you've walked into a dead end, huh? Check. I see Red's chariot has crossed the river. Is there a chance? It's a trap. Look, his horse stays at the riverbank. Neither advances nor retreats. If my fishing chariot dares to take his piece below, his fishing horse will immediately jump to the crouching trough position. That's a chain kill move. Even a god couldn't save that. For a human to think under high pressure for so long, it's commendable. But as an opponent, your time is running out. Countdown, 20 minutes left. Let go and pull the cannon back. No, if we pull back, the center is empty. Chariot to 8 to 6, Shuoma. He didn't guard the center. He's forcing me. Trading pieces, my calculation can't keep up with him. He's crushing me with sheer computational power. Distance, 320 meters. Third floor hall. Dense heat source behind the curtains. But the curtains are special heat insulating, light blocking material. Heat signatures are very blurry. Can't confirm which one is the hostage. Too much thermal overlap. But the children. If we fire penetrating shots, after the bullets pass through glass and curtains, there will be uncontrollable deflection. Obstructed view. Cannot lock onto the target's head. Forced shot. Probability of hitting a hostage exceeds 80%. Requesting orders. That's 30 children. Continue observing. Look for gaps. Oh. That observer over there is very focused. Didn't even hide the glint off the lens. Eat up, no more crying. The game will be over soon. Uncle, will you blow us up? No, Uncle only blows up bad guys. Your move. Professor Luo, 5 minutes left. Hurry up, even if just stalling for time, keep going. The bomb squad in Beijing City is breaching the back door. Useless. I've lost. What? Lost. The game's not over yet. No matter what move I make now, within 3 moves, he can absolutely form a double-track door-slamming kill. I've already run every variable in my head. 108 variations, all dead ends. 30 moves or 50 moves. A human brain cannot process this magnitude of data in such a short time. What the hell are you? Admitting defeat is not shameful. Sometimes machines really are more useful than people. Since you admit defeat, then according to our earlier agreement. Oh. Do as I say. Put on this jacket. And give me your badge. Take the children away immediately. Remember, don't look back. I can't see what's inside anymore. The ammunition detonated. Assault. Assault now. Forget the infrared. Blow the door open. Charge in and save them. No explosives. What? It's just an ordinary electronic alarm clock, modified. This is a fake bomb. A fake bomb. Scared us stiff. He used a pile of Play-Doh to make fools of the police force from 2 cities. It wasn't just an empty city trick. He was buying time. He must have blended into the evacuation crowd and left. Replaying the crowd evacuation footage from 5 minutes ago. Zoom in on the bottom left. He disguised himself as a staff member. Driver, to the river dock. I'm in a hurry. I'll pay extra. Got it, hold tight. Driver, I need to change the destination slightly. Can't get through. I can get through. Hey, what are you doing? Take it, it's yours. Don't kill me. Can't lock onto the tires. Pedestrians on both sides of the street. Afraid to shoot. Set up a roadblock at the tunnel entrance. Don't let him into the downtown area. Ha ha ha. Two divisions of police, plus our entire expert team, and we still couldn't stop one man. Inside his brain, there's a vast knowledge base we can't even imagine. Chess, psychology, bomb disposal, stunt driving. Every encounter. He reveals a new skill. He's evolving. Everyone's talking about Su Chen's chess game and the empty city trick. His approval ratings have even surpassed our expert panel. Fans have set up a fan club for him, calling him the god of escape. Stop all vessels. No matter how skilled he is, he's still a wanted fugitive. We interrupt with an urgent bulletin. This afternoon, a violent brawl broke out at the Beijing City Detention Center. The dismemberment case. Zhao Xiaoye of the Insurance Protection Office was during yard time. Stabbed in the carotid artery with a sharpened toothbrush. Died despite rescue efforts. There are clues suggesting Zhao Xiaoye's death may be linked to the notorious Beijing serial killer from 30 years ago. Seems like a rat that's been in the sewers for 30 years. Since you want to play, then let's play big. Interesting. Since you like playing cops and robbers so much. Then I'll play along. Kid, by your accent, you're from the Jinling area. Beijing City's been rough lately. Don't go near the old city at night. What's wrong? That madman who kills on rainy nights is out again. The cops are cracking down hard. Good thing I brought an umbrella. The case file on this serial killer. All victims were young women, wearing red dresses, killed on rainy nights. But no fingerprints or DNA left at the scene. Later we received a tip-off. Someone put a bounty on Su Chen's head on the black market. 5 million yuan. But only one person in Beijing would dare pull that off. The old ghost who's been silent for 30 years. Su Chen stirred up too much noise. He came for this case. He grabbed Zhao Xiaoye, a nobody today. He's trying to repeat the same trick. He's using himself as bait to lure out the serial killer. Find a room that doesn't require ID registration, preferably a basement, quiet. The one at the very end. Host detected. Entering the core area of the Beijing serial killer case. Main quest triggered. Before the expert team, locate and defeat the real. Last scene. Around the East Dock area. This case was cracked 3 years ago, but the interval between crimes shortened from 3 months to 1. He's evolving, and he's enjoying it. After the last case at the cotton mill dormitory, he disappeared. The old city has many blind spots. If Su Chen hides somewhere like that, it will be hard to find him with facial recognition. We only need to watch one place. Where? The abandoned cotton mill. If Su Chen wants to simulate the crime, he'll definitely choose that stage. That's the killer's holy ground, and the perfect place for Su Chen to provoke. Boss, is this dress for sale? And that mannequin in the window. Sell it to me too. That thing's pretty heavy. I'm strong. First act, rehearsal begins. 30 years ago in Beijing City, a string of 9 murders targeting young women occurred. All 9 victims, at the time of death, were wearing red long dresses. Not a thunderstorm, but late at night. The killer's technique was extremely professional, leaving no fingerprints or biological traces. And this afternoon, Zhao Xiaoye in the detention center had her carotid artery pierced with a sharpened toothbrush, killed in one blow, precisely severed a major blood vessel, avoiding the cervical vertebrae. Extremely similar to the killer's first stab that you recorded. This is a professional killer's technique. He collected the school uniform and evidence from back then. Is it the real murderer silencing a witness? Or protecting his own originality? Killed him. The killer has been in this city all along. He just stopped hunting. Ling Corporation's nationwide live broadcast not only flushed out Zhao Xiaoye, it also woke up this old ghost who'd been dormant for 30 years. Su Chen came to Platinum City. Not to evade our pursuit at all. He came to deliver a declaration of war. Chief, the broadcast went live, force pushing the feed through the servers. Current online viewers have already exceeded 10 million. Trace his IP address. Cut it immediately. He's using proxies to hide the physical location. Can't cut it. Viewers of Beijing City. 30 years ago your police lost a ghost who loved dancing in a red dress on rainy nights. That butcher hiding in the sewers. If you're watching this live, don't thank me. Green raincoat, red dress, firefighter suit. The standard scene setup for the fishery butcher. Su Chen killed someone. He set up a dummy. He's provoking that killer. Turn up the volume on the stream. Rain hitting the roof. It's a dull metallic resonance. The space is empty. Echo delay over 1.5 seconds. Ceiling height at least 15 meters. 30 years ago. Where was the scene of the last serial murder? Workshop 2. That's it. He's recreating the final killing from 30 years ago. All SWAT units, listen up. Target, Workshop 2, number 3 Cotton Mill, West District. Move out now. You'll have to pay with your life. Where's Su Chen? Perimeter is sealed off. He can't get out. Search everywhere. Don't miss any corner of the district. Captain Sure, something was left at the scene. It's a taunting letter from Su Chen. The words on the note were cut from old newspapers and pasted together. Too bad the person wearing it was wrong. The real dancer should take the stage now. The marks on the note and the steel nail. This definitely wasn't left by Su Chen. Didn't he set up the scene? But this method of pasting letters from clippings and fixing a message with a rusty steel nail is a very typical old-school serial killer move. He wouldn't use such a dated, retro technique. That murderer from 30 years ago was just here. That ghost not only came, but also left his signature. It means he accepted Su Chen's challenge. He decided to close the case here. Doctor. Extremely low breathing rate. 30 years later, this old man's physical condition hasn't deteriorated much at all. On stage, I'll send out the tickets for your next performance for you. On the note and the steel nail, no fingerprints or DNA were recovered. The opponent is very clean. He clearly stated he's going to strike again. Captain Lee, the 30-year-old killer's crime pattern. Was there any geographical logic? He started from the south of the old city and moved north. If not for the crackdown, his 10th target area back then should have been determined. Where? Lianfeng Factory. 2 kilometers further north is the abandoned Red Star Theater. Professor Luo, the situation has changed. A recording of a call to the Platinum City TV news hotline. Is this the TV station? Tonight at 8 p.m., Red Star Theater. The Rainy Night Butcher from 30 years ago will stream live nationwide to complete the final performance he never finished. He actually dares to publicly announce the location and time. But this call wasn't made to the TV station. It was made to the killer. Su Chen made the time and place public, cutting off the killer's retreat. And also cutting off his own retreat. He will definitely show up. So tonight at 8 p.m. at the Red Star Theater, both Su Chen and that killer will appear. Him, the killer, and the police. All 3 sides must settle this there. Tonight, I'll let you watch him finish his final farewell. Old-timer, don't disappoint me. The suspect and Su Chen are definitely inside. Captain Sure, give the order to storm in now. A blind assault will alert them. What if the killer has rigged booby traps inside? Or Su Chen left some extreme contingency? We'll have casualties. Duan Yu, has Su Chen's live stream push signal appeared? Professor Luo, I'm monitoring the entire network. All public servers and dark web nodes. No abnormal data flow so far. He's publicly announced it. Tonight at 8 p.m., he will definitely show this stage. To everyone on time. Through the theater's side fire ventilation duct. Sneak into the lighting control room on the second floor. I need you to secure the high ground immediately. And confirm the situation on stage. You rat who's been hiding in the sewer for 30 years. You actually showed up on time. Leave. You clearly know who I am. You're not afraid of me? I'm here tonight. To let everyone see you clearly. Both are on the main stage. He's doing a psychological profile of the crime scene. Duan Yu, immediately. Intercept the network signal source from Su Chen's phone's LAN. Sync his audio to the command center. You specifically choose heavy rain nights to strike. It's not for some romantic ritual at all. On dry pavement, the sound of your dragging footsteps is too distinctive. Only on stormy nights, the loud thunder and rain can mask the noise of your left leg dragging. Heavy rain, red dress. That was my masterpiece left for the world. You can only gain that pitiful sense of control through killing. Am I right? In the old case files, the forensic reports on all 9 victims were very clear. Listen carefully to his logic. Back then, the Platinum City Police were misled by the bloody scenes you deliberately staged. They thought you were performing some kind of perverted religious ritual. All 9 victims' fatal wounds were on the left side of the neck. Extremely deep cuts. This indicates you held the knife in your right hand, on the right shoulder. There were varying degrees of severe subcutaneous bruising. The forensic examiners back then believed it was caused by the victims hitting the ground while struggling. Wrong. If it were impact from falling, the bruise area wouldn't be so concentrated. Those weren't impact marks from the ground at all. Your left leg can't provide enough support. At the moment you swing the knife with force in your right hand, your center of gravity shifts severely to the right. Just from the wound records in the case files, he deduced the killer's physical defect. That's a monster-level profiling ability. So what if you know about my leg? I still killed 9 people. You stopped for 30 years, not because you had a change of heart, and certainly not because your art was complete. It was because during the 9th case, the victim, while struggling, kicked you hard in the groin. That kick caused irreversible physical damage. And also shattered whatever confidence you had left. You didn't want to continue. You were scared shitless. This isn't true. This isn't true. Hold your fire. Take him alive. You're surrounded too. Hands on your head. Get down now. Tonight, I came to give Platinum City Public Security Bureau a big gift. I helped you flush him out. His meltdown in front of tens of millions of viewers just now, and his indiscriminate attack, already amount to a confession. The shame you suffered back then can be washed away today. In Platinum City, you harmed so many innocent people. Even used the police as your props for a show. Your crimes are enough to keep you in prison for several lifetimes. Don't toy with the police. If I hadn't used extreme methods to provoke him, he would never leave a trace. In another 30 years, you still wouldn't find a reclusive, disabled old man with no criminal record. You should give me a commendation banner. The theater is surrounded tight as a drum. He can't escape even if he grows wings. Knowing we have heavy forces deployed, why is he still standing there wasting words with Shi Yong? He's deliberately stalling for time, distracting your attention. He must have left a backup escape plan. Su Chen, what other tricks do you have? There are no civilians here for you to use as hostages. You can't run. Professor Luo's intuition is always so sharp. You caught the man, but do you know where his murder weapon and the trophies from back then are hidden? In court, an experienced defense lawyer could easily claim insanity leading to rambling and use that to overturn his confession. Don't touch my red dress. Don't touch his bedboard. There's a modified moisture-proof secret compartment underneath. All 9 red dresses from back then are inside. Notify all exits and deploy smoke grenades. This collaboration was a pleasure. The physical evidence is yours. See you at the next stage. Professor Luo, visibility inside the theater is 0. The thermal imager is affected by the smoke and the residual heat from the blast. Unable to lock onto Su Chen's heat signature. Guards at all 4 gates report. No one has broken through the main or side entrances. He's still inside the theater. Did he dig a tunnel? I'll have people check the underground air raid shelters of the theater immediately. Entrance. Don't check underground. He went up. Duan Yu, pull up the 1970s architectural blueprints of Red Star Theater. This building, to meet the fire prevention and smoke exhaust requirements of large performances back then, in the ceiling directly above the stage. There must be a giant central exhaust shaft leading to the roof. Found it. 20 meters above the main stage. There's indeed a vertical exhaust shaft 1.5 meters wide. He calculated we wouldn't dare operate without a line of sight. Longyan Lawanki asked him to set up a zip line on the catwalk above the stage in advance. Use the zip line to go straight up, climb through the exhaust shaft to the roof. Stop internal search. Bring that killer back directly. If you dare take the roof, it means he planned this long ago. A three-dimensional escape route along the outside of the building. It's too late to chase now. Expedite the comparison. Results are out. Li Yong led the team, and from the secret compartment in the suspect's basement, retrieved 9 old-style red dresses. On them, a large amount of microscopic skin flakes and old bloodstains were found. They matched perfectly with the preserved biological samples of the victims from 30 years ago. The chain of evidence is fully closed. This man is the genuine Yatufo Baijin. The stone that weighed on the shoulders of the criminal police for 30 years has finally been cracked open. The case is solved. But Su Chen, right under our noses, has vanished into thin air. Police from 2 cities plus our top expert team. And we couldn't stop him from throwing a smoke grenade. This is a monumental disgrace. You have to admit, the comprehensive criminal aptitude Su Chen displayed this time has far exceeded our predictive model. He is a master of extreme psychological profiling. From the wounds on the victims in the case files, he deduced the killer's leg disability. He possesses extraordinary tactical planning ability. Alone, he set up a perfect 3-way deadlock that pinned down both the police and the killer. He even has top-tier combat skills and counter-surveillance capabilities. He keeps evolving. No matter how he evolves, he's still human. As long as he dares to show his face, I will eventually get him. For someone like him, obsessed with demonstrating high intelligence and delivering crushing blows, his psychological threshold has been raised to the ceiling. Ordinary serial murders can no longer satisfy his appetite. The highest classified archives of the national public security system find those with the highest level, the worst impact, and universally acknowledged as absolutely unsolvable cold cases. Shock value exceeds level 40. Maximum threshold. Host receives full-level combat skill. God-tier fighting technique. Congratulations, host. Obtain auxiliary disguise. Comrade. Routine check. Please show your ID and ticket. Officer, you're this strict. Are you looking for that fugitive Su Chen on TV? The photo looks a bit heavier than you are now. Where are you headed? The terminal station, Harbor City? Gallbladder surgery. Lost over 10 pounds. Going to Harbor City to work at an electronics factory with my cousin. Need me to lift my shirt and show you the incision? No need. Just had surgery. Less screen time. Keep your documents safe. Thanks, officer. The entire city of Baijin has been turned over. No facial recognition captures on any high-speed rail in the province. And he just vanished. Many people already see Su Chen as a vigilante above the law. He cracked 2 long-standing cold cases in a row. His current psychological state has evolved into that of a judge, with a god's eye view, a perfectionist with an infinitely raised psychological threshold, a criminal genius. So regular serial murders no longer stimulate his dopamine. What will he do next? Rob the National Gold Reserve. Go after those absolute dead ends that even the state apparatus can't solve, known as the unsolved mysteries of humanity. He wants to prove to everyone that his computing power surpasses modern science. Duan access the highest classified database of the Ministry of Public Security. Are you talking about that case? That's absolutely impossible. No matter how high Su Chen's IQ is, he's still human. That case doesn't even fall under criminal investigation. Pull it up. A madman loves to challenge miracles. Flight H370 of Shanghai Airlines carried 239 people during the cruising phase. Without any warning, it disappeared from the ATC radar. A fleet searched the Pacific for a year and a half. No trace found, not even a piece of wreckage the size of a fingernail. No black box signal either, not just radar disappearance. Military-level satellite data shows the 2 independent transponder systems on the flight were manually turned off from inside the cockpit. Someone, at an altitude of 10,000 meters, carefully orchestrated a perfect locked room disappearance. This is Su Chen's next ultimate puzzle he will definitely challenge. Shut off manually. Use terrain to mask. Fly ultra-low altitude radar hugging. Very interesting. 239 living people can't just turn to ash. As long as it's man-made, there will be flaws in the mathematical model. Looks like for that battle, I'll have to go to Harbor City and get some sea breeze. Hope the sea there can keep its secrets deep enough. Which department? Where's your official letter? Didn't you see the internal email? Province-wide ATC radar data update. You can call your director right now. Ask him if he personally approved the clearance. You asked me for my badge. You take the responsibility. I'm stepping out for a smoke. We don't even know what Su Chen's face looks like now. How are we supposed to find him? The official investigation report on the disappearance of Flight H370. He wouldn't believe a single punctuation mark in it. They didn't even find the airline's black box. Where would the data come from? It's broadcast data, not the officially approved version released to the media. The smooth track system, that's the only digital record that couldn't have been tampered with. If someone is trying to pack up the evidence, that 500 gigabytes of raw radar data from 3 years ago, that person is definitely Su Chen. Target file, the hidden radar reflection data of H370. Notify Harbor City, SWAT to lock down the ATC building. He set a one-way data lock. My current permissions can't override his instructions. He's even using my trace traffic to accelerate his download. Reacted 30 seconds late. I'm borrowing the data. Flight transponder turned off. 122, last radar return signal. Disappeared at the South China Sea border. Official conclusion, aircraft crashed at that point. The underlying data is wrong. The curve isn't a vertical dive, but a smooth transition. This isn't a crash. This is deliberate radar evasion. Using sea clutter to mask the airframe's reflection. Flawless tactical blind zone evasion maneuver. Civil aviation captain. Definitely received military-level special flight training. Su Chen took a copy of the air traffic control data. Can he see something we can't? Motive. The captain of Flight H370 was Lin Jiangwo. In the months before his disappearance, he experienced severe financial crisis and family upheaval, showed signs of depression. Mainstream speculation. The captain deliberately took all passengers down with him. Isn't that the case? Deliberately turned off the transponder. Who else could have done that? Su Chen is now analyzing the plane's final attitude. If someone truly wanted to die, the simplest way would be to push the yoke into a dive into the sea. But he didn't. Before disappearing, the plane executed an extremely precise 270-degree tactical wide turn and flew in the blind zone for at least 3 hours. He was on a highly covert mission, or he was blackmailed with leverage he couldn't refuse. The investigation was closed long ago. How dare you come here demanding exoneration? He was a decorated, senior pilot. He valued passengers' lives above his own. That official report is entirely fabricated. Of course he didn't commit suicide. A suicidal person doesn't need to manually disable the cargo hold fire suppression system before the turn. What did you say? Who are you? How do you have this data? The airline wouldn't even show me this. What matters is, I want to know, what was actually loaded on that plane 3 years ago? 30 seconds before the transponder was turned off, the fire alarm and air circulation systems were fully cut. That means something went wrong in the cargo hold. Something extremely dangerous. Your father, to prevent escalation, or to cooperate with some operation, manually severed contact with the cargo hold. On the official cargo manifest, it says 2 tons of tropical fruit and a batch of ordinary lithium batteries. Before your father took off, did he mention anything unusual? The night before the disappearance, he was on his home flight simulator, repeatedly practicing a very strange flight path. What kind of flight path? Departs from Haiyang City, but not the international main route, hugging the coastline, then suddenly descending altitude, circling at a coordinate point called Andaman. Andaman Deep Sea Trench. That area is a complete sonar blind zone. Take me to your home. Lin Jiangwo's daughter, Lin Xia. For 3 years, she has been petitioning, trying to overturn the official suicide conclusion. Since Su Chen deduced the anomaly in the flight path, he will definitely contact Lin Xia. Contact Haiyang City Police. Put Lin Xia under surveillance. As soon as Su Chen shows up, grab him there. Su Chen immediately hacks into Lin Xia's smart meter and network router. If Su Chen goes to her home, he will definitely use her network or high-power appliances. I want to know his every move. Oh. Power draw on the meter instantly spiked to 5 kilowatts. Someone started that large flight simulator. Check what flight path he's simulating. If fully loaded with fuel and passengers, extreme maneuvers, the airframe would physically snap. But my dad flew it successfully that night. The simulator showed a green light. The official payload was reported as 200 tons. Fruit and lithium batteries? Completely non-existent. Father was not committing suicide. He was executing a highly precision-demanding, tactical evasion maneuver. And the prerequisite for this maneuver is that someone before takeoff erased 20 tons of ballast data from the system. There were no 2 tons of tropical fruit on that plane. Someone used this commercial airliner to smuggle something top secret. My dad was forced. PPD battery most likely underwent an uncontrollable reaction, or someone detonated a device on the plane. Your father, to prevent the plane from crashing over the city, forcibly turned off the transponder and flew the plane to unpopulated waters. The airline executives and relevant investigation agencies are all just executors. They are covering up the truth about those 20 tons of cargo. But how do we prove it? That's a 3-year-old top secret manifest. Paper records were destroyed long ago. In the digital age, nothing is truly destroyed. If it ever existed, it will leave traces. 2 tons of mangosteen plus 4 tons of civilian lithium batteries. All comply with air transport regulations. Nothing suspicious. Flight H370 disappeared in March. Not Southeast Asia's mangosteen harvest season. Impossible to gather 2 tons of premium fresh fruit. Must be cold chain transported. Otherwise it would rot easily in the sealed cargo hold. Before takeoff, the cargo hold's cold chain temperature control system was off. Who would pay high air freight costs to haul 2 tons of fruit that will spoil? You mean the mangosteen was a cover for the lithium batteries? But definitely not civilian grade. 3 years ago, some high-energy weapon not permitted internationally, and solid-state batteries, were in covert transport. If that thing suffered thermal runaway in midair, the whole flight would be a flying bomb. Su Chen must have figured this out too. What he will do next is to tear open this earth-shattering scandal that has been covered up for 3 years. Lockdown so tight, seems whatever's inside truly can't see the light. Su Chen has made a move. She hijacked all public halls on the island and major telecommunications. Cut 1 network node. 3 will immediately split off. 3 years, many have forgotten flight H370. The actual takeoff weight of this flight was a full 20 tons lighter than declared. In that airliner's cargo hold was a bomb that could undergo thermal runaway at any moment. Donghua was a madman, alone, flying a burning plane toward the deep-sea blind zone. Those who, for profit, covered up the truth, the airline executives, are murderers. The servers have been completely stripped bare. These classified documents are spreading publicly across the entire network. The board's phones are ringing off the hook. This madman, how did he get this air gap data? How do we contain this now? The airline must pay the price. The authorities must reopen the investigation. He used the most criminal means to do the most righteous thing. He's no longer just a fugitive. The other side used a distributed botnet. Seal all physical weapons and paper archives. They must not be allowed to investigate. That hacker has a physical backup of the original manifest. Remove these 2 core nodes tonight. Cut the power supply lines. Completely erase all traces on site. Professor Luo. Internal communication traffic at Haigang Aviation Group, showing abnormal spikes. They're using satellite bands to contact external personnel. When capital faces a survival crisis, it will adopt the most direct physical elimination method. Haigang City is a first-tier city. They dare to hire professional killers. Existing legal rules have already failed for them. We will take care of him tonight for sure, and destroy the physical evidence in Su Chen's hands. Shi Yong leads a team to the apartment where he stopped. Su Chen is there right now. My dad's investigation has been reopened. The police will come to take my statement soon. But in the 10 minutes before the police armored vehicles arrive, the cleanup killers will get to the bathroom first. Turn off the light source. When it's full of water, submerge your body in the water. The water can effectively absorb the physical energy of bullets and cushion the shockwave from a low-yield explosion. What about you? I'll stay here. I need to intercept these external intruders. Communication links. UFO is unlocked. Prepare to breach. How far away are the prior police forces from the local precinct? Can't make it. The cleanup team has entered the building. Does Su Chen have a weapon? No record shows he is carrying a firearm or has prepared forensic tools. There is a probability of Su Chen being physically eliminated. Security confirmed. Locate Su Chen and Lin Xia. Lin Xia is safe. 2 armed killers were subdued instantly. The attacker used top-tier military close-quarters combat. No physical trace of Su Chen found at the scene. Check the killer's communication device. The communication earpiece was removed. This is a diversion. He stayed in the apartment to get the killer's radio frequency and reverse locate the commander's physical coordinates. He went to the aviation group headquarters. How much capital do you need? I can provide the digital keys to an offshore account. Lin Zhangwo, turn off the transponder. Fly to international waters. But your superiors must have installed on the cargo an independent third-party tracking beacon. For 3 years, multinational search teams haven't found the wreckage because you have the precise physical coordinates, but dare not salvage. The trackers are all in the hands of foreign arms dealers now. I don't know the coordinates. The diameter of the femoral artery in the human thigh is about 8 millimeters. Tell me those coordinates. If you don't let go in time, your body will suffer permanent physiological damage. In the Mariana Trench. Dog eyes dazed. The Public Rescue Communication Band of the International Maritime Satellite. What was the intercepted content? A plain text message. Flight H370 has actually crashed. Physical coordinates. 11 degrees, 24 minutes north. 142 degrees, 12 minutes east. Salvaged 20 tons of illegal high-energy batteries and 239 remains. The coordinates are public. Tomorrow, survey ships from dozens of countries will arrive there. The aviation group has completely lost the ability to cover up physical evidence. He used a line of numbers to shift the international situation. He forced the whole world to complete the final physical packaging for him. Su Chen's land exit is physically sealed. 6 patrol boats on the sea surface. No underwater breathing equipment available. Can't break through the surface blockade. Drop electronic devices and submit to physical processing. I made the coordinates public. Restored the physical truth of the facts. The way you obtain the data violates current law. The court will determine the nature of your actions. Su Chen, your tactical deduction achieved its goal, but your current physical position is a dead end. Behind you is deep sea. Ahead are 300 armed personnel and 8 sniper positions. No automated boats on the surface that you can hack. Your escape probability is 0. Professor Luo's physical analysis. Missed one environmental variable. What variable? The degree of automation of the heavy machinery at this dock. Spread out. He used containers to create a physical barrier, blocking the sniper's ballistic trajectories and the drone's optical view. Professor Luo, collect the remains. See you at the next node. Successfully detected physical wreckage of Flight H370. All top executives of Harbor Aviation Group have been arrested. Captain Lin Zhangwo's name is restored. Searched for 12 hours. No physical trace of Su Chen found. He didn't carry an oxygen tank. How did he break through the underwater blockade? The cooling drainage system of the automated dock connects to the city's deep-sea sewage main pipeline. He only needed to control the physical pressure valve of the sewage pump to escape the encirclement along the water flow. Hold his breath and travel 3 kilometers. Would cause cerebral hypoxia and physical death. His lung capacity and pressure resistance broke the conventional human physiological mechanism. H370 incident concluded. He destroyed the transnational smuggling chain. Where will he go next? Find the next unsolved mystery that cannot be explained on a physical level. Main quest. The vanished trajectory completed. Shock value reached peak. Acquired passive skill. Underwater extreme survival. Cardiopulmonary function enhanced to the physical limit of carbon-based life. Acquired active skill. Microexpression. Data analysis. A green train carrying 1,200 people. After entering a 3-kilometer fully enclosed single-lane tunnel, no explosion occurred. No physical wreckage mass generated. Vanished into thin air. There are no miracles in physics. Only hidden engineering exists. Professor Luo, ready to face the next dimension. Express train K16, carrying 1,200 passengers, heading to Jinling. The train enters Qinling Tunnel number 3, 3 kilometers long. The entrance surveillance footage is very clear. According to the speed, it should exit the tunnel in 3 minutes. But the exit surveillance captured nothing. This train simply evaporated. Please bring search dogs. And conducted a thorough search for half a month. What did you find? There are cracks in the tunnel. There are natural caves. The tunnel is a straight single-track railway. No sightings. No hidden doors. No traces of explosion. Not even a single drop of blood left. 1,200 living people. Thousands of tons of steel. Even if blown to ashes, there should be residue. The law of conservation of mass is a universal ironclad rule, since surveillance caught it entering, and it never came out. Logically, only one possibility remains. That train is still parked in that tunnel to this day. It never left. Over 100 armed police walked in with flashlights. A train several hundred meters long parked inside. Could they not see it? Under specific engineering camouflage, vision is the most unreliable. How exactly was the trick played back then? This is Qinling Tunnel number 3, where the K-16 train vanished. Officials call it an unsolved mystery, but I only believe in engineering and trickery. Someone here performed a death magic that hid an entire train. Capture the super audio just now. Generate a spectrogram. Ground vibration is extremely obvious. Reverberation decay time exceeds 2.5 seconds. What does that mean? Normally, behind this wall should be solid rock strata. The knocking sound should be short and sharp. But it produced an echo lasting 2.5 seconds. This means behind this wall is not rock at all. It's empty. There's another underground space. Why didn't the search team find the laser tube? dojoanime rushes into the National Railway Planning Administration. Retrieve the original design drafts from the Survey Institute 15 years ago. Hurry. The designer, 10 meters to the right of the main tunnel, excavated a parallel auxiliary pilot tunnel. Wide enough for heavy trucks. Why didn't we see an entrance at the site? That pilot tunnel was completely filled with concrete. 3 months before the railway opened, sealed off that 3-kilometer auxiliary pilot tunnel. That is the space where the train vanished. The original drawings should have been retrieved, right? The train entered normally, but the driver didn't realize in the dark that the main track ahead had been cut. The rails were shifted 10 degrees, and the train was forcibly diverted into a dead-end tunnel deep inside the mountain. The train was led into a blind tunnel. 10 minutes after the incident, the search team entered. The gap at the junction? Couldn't the search team see? Are they all blind? The final step is always a bellows. Personnel immediately activate the hydraulic system to forcibly reset the railway tracks. Concrete modules and water-filled barriers. In just 10 minutes, completely seal and flatten this massive junction. They even sprayed aging tunnel camouflage paint on the still wet cement surface. What they saw was just a load-bearing wall perfectly blended into the main tunnel. At least 500 skilled construction workers, working in perfect coordination, even cut off the Railway Bureau's signal. From construction to the mega construction group that issued the acceptance report, which company would bury 1,200 people? This is definitely not for profit or murder. There must be a colossal hidden interest even greater than 1,200 lives. Deliberately breaking down this wall requires 5 hours of continuous work with a heavy excavator. I'm in a hurry. This is a military-grade thermite incendiary charge. Under the instant scorching heat of over 2,500 degrees, the moisture inside the concrete violently vaporizes and expands. Su Chen is performing directional blasting. Immediately seal all tunnel exits. He must not be allowed to touch what's behind that wall. A mudslide just occurred on the winding mountain road of Lishan. All armored vehicles are stuck 15 kilometers away. It'll take an hour and a half to reach the tunnel on foot. This is no coincidence. On the night the train disappeared 12 years ago, there was also a sudden massive mudslide that blocked the outside rescue teams. He used a mudslide to by himself, an absolute vacuum without police interference. 1 hour to open that terrifying tomb sealed for 12 years. The lie has been exposed. That missing ghost train arrived on time today. The train missing for 12 years is parked in a hidden tunnel just 10 meters from the search team. What horrible condition must the bodies in the car be in? I need to see inside the car immediately. "1,200 living people. Not even a single finger bone left. Were they vaporized? This is just a transfer station. Adults were treated as an extremely precious special resource. The killing wasn't to cover up this fractured train. It was to silently complete an unloading. Secretly transferred away. Ha ha ha, Professor Luo. Your profile has finally caught up with me. The real hell lies at the end of this tunnel, more than 10 kilometers away. That underground project, that required 1,200 living people to fill. What kind of monster is it producing? Behind this door, there is a completely independent sanitation system. What exactly did the construction team, 12 years ago, dig inside the mountain? dojoanime, did you find out the background of that construction group? I did. Back then, Jiuzhou Heavy Industry, responsible for the Qinling No. 3 tunnel, declared bankruptcy and restructuring the following year. But I traced their capital flow before bankruptcy. There was an extremely large offshore fund that secretly injected a whopping 1 billion into Jiuzhou Heavy Industries' overseas account. Where did that money ultimately come from? A multinational pharmaceutical giant named Nia Biotechnology, a pharmaceutical company, spends $1 billion to build an underground blast door deep in the Qinling Mountains. They need an absolutely hidden physical space and a large number of unknown living subjects. You mean the 1,200 passengers? What's behind this door is not a shelter at all. This is an illegal, underground human clinical trial base. Professor Luo guessed right. This is a lawless place. Cloned telomerase extension technology is completely banned internationally. To pursue so-called nirvana and rebirth, they turn their eyes to this remote mountain range. 1,200 citizens with legal identity, after entering this tunnel, had their social files deleted. They became the cheapest consumables in Project Nirvana. This is the final destination of those 1,200 people. Not instant death, but prolonged exploitation. A full 1,200 people. What exactly did they go through here? Next to it is a deep bone marrow puncture device. From the equipment setup, they weren't doing ordinary drug tests. They were extracting some core element from these human bodies, hematopoietic stem cells and immune substances. This is live extraction. Nia Biotechnology's main focus back then was reversing aging. They tried to use large quantities of young, healthy living cells to refine a telomerase serum that could extend human life. They were penned here like livestock, until they were drained of every last drop of useful value. This log records their final despair. Subject number 035, severe cell rejection reaction, organ failure, death, sent to incinerator. August 12th, extract purity meets standard. Subjects number 112 to number 150 no longer have extraction value. Unified physical disposal. The last record is from the 3rd year after the incident. All 1,200 samples have been consumed. Core anti-aging serum successfully developed. All researchers evacuated. Trampling on 1,200 corpses. They got the elixir of life they wanted. But this drug isn't for ordinary people. You're clever, Su Chen, but also hopelessly stupid. Are you a current executive of Nia Biotechnology, or the client who bought the drug back then? Who I am doesn't matter. What matters is that tonight you open Pandora's box. Everyone involved who knew about this back then has already been cleaned up by us. This base was permanently sealed. You think a nationwide livestream can judge us? Can't it? Tens of millions of people across the country are now watching this underground slaughterhouse. A livestream can be cut off. Physical traces can also be erased. Haha, a secure communication. We have already implemented. Military-grade reverse jamming. In 3 minutes, your livestream push will be forcibly blocked, and you will stay here forever. Becoming specimen number 1201. An extremely massive, national-level computing power is furiously attacking Su Chen's livestream push node. They're blocking this stream across the entire network. Can we hold it for Su Chen? No, this force is too massive. At most 2 more minutes, before the signal is completely cut off. I will never allow the buyer list of that elixir of life to be made public. The engineers are still repairing the road. At least another half hour. Since that mysterious man dared to show himself, it means he already arranged a force cleanup team. Su Chen, now, faces a fully armed death squad of mercenaries. Professor Luo, I can barely hold on. The enemy is physically burning our proxy servers. Whatever he's doing, data transfer must be completed within 10 seconds. What? You ate the pig? Only a blood feast trampling on civilian bones. The so-called elite ultimately feasted on the flesh and blood of those 1,200, the buyers of this bloodline. Today, I will have their names carved on the pillar of shame. Professor Luo, receipt complete. Haha, Interpol, Police, Supreme Procuratorate. Not a single one will escape. In this world, the only thing that can give those 1,200 wronged souls justice. His live stream is already down. He's underground. How will he deal with the remaining armed men? Kill him. Blow up the server directly. As long as you die here, those lists are just a pile of illegal forged data. 12 years ago, the control program of your biological differentiation furnace left behind. It will end your greed. Self-destruct sequence activated. Countdown, 60 seconds. that tunnel completely collapsed. Hundreds of tycoons, top executives, and dignitaries from more than 30 countries were arrested one after another. National moment of silence. The key whistleblower of this incident, mysterious hacker Su Chen, missing after the explosion at the underground base. An explosion of that magnitude, plus the backflow of groundwater. No one could survive. What do you think? Ha ha ha, he's back. Where did he surface? He hijacked Interpol's internal red notice broadcast network. He issued a death warrant. Who's the target? The highest funder of Project Nirvana, the leader of the multinational conglomerate, codename Atom. He turned himself into Interpol half a month ago. He is now being held in Tartarus, the deep-sea heavy security prison in the international waters of the Pacific. Voluntarily surrendered? With his wealth and connections, he could have hired an entire army and hidden on a private island for life. Because he knows an army can't stop Su Chen, Atom handed over the names of all his accomplices in exchange for serving his sentence in the world's highest security deep-sea prison. He's using the state apparatus and the absolute physical isolation of the deep sea to build himself a safe coffin. So how does Su Chen plan to kill him? The deep-sea prison is 200 meters below sea level. Not even a fly can get in 24 hours. He will execute Atom. Your intervention is unnecessary. We're 200 meters deep. The only entrance is a high-pressure vertical elevator. The entire prison is a titanium alloy fully sealed pressure hull. Even if Su Chen came in a nuclear submarine, he couldn't blast through the outer wall. Never underestimate that madman. Take us to Atom. The air here is independently circulated. Water and food are tested for poison by dedicated staff. You spent billions building a human refining plant. Didn't think it would come to this? If I die, the politicians involved will pin the blame on you, as long as we're here. Su Chen can't kill you. The physical defense is indeed flawless. He never makes empty threats. He must have already smuggled the murder weapon into this prison. Professor Luo, I've hacked into Tartarus's perimeter sonar system within 50 nautical miles. No submarines or large surface vessels detected. I told you this place is impregnable. He doesn't even have the right to come near. Warden, how is daily supplies delivered to this prison? Once a week. Through the supply elevator on the surface platform. Atom, he eats military compressed rations stockpiled for 6 months. Drinks deep-sea reverse osmosis purified water. Reverse osmosis purified water. Is the water circulation system independent? Fully independent. We directly draw freezing seawater from 200 meters deep, pass it through multi-stage physical filtration and high-temperature distillation, and finally inject it into Sector 0. Duanyu, immediately check the ocean current patterns and trace element monitoring data from the last 3 days. 3 days ago, an unmanned research vessel, registered under a shell company, had a very minor leak. What leaked? A non-toxic, high-concentration sodium-copper solution, used for industrial burns. According to the current speed, that sodium-copper solution passed the Tartarus deep-sea water intake 4 hours ago. Knocked the water out of his hand. He must not drink it. Are you crazy? Professor, the water's spilled. Something's wrong with the water. Sodium-copper element cannot be separated by conventional high-temperature distillation. It's already mixed into Atom's drinking water. Once Atom drinks that water, his body will be filled with extremely dangerous metal. Su Chen doesn't need to enter at all. He only needs to emit a specific frequency of acoustic waves from outside. And Atom's internal organs will be torn apart by resonance instantly. Demon. He's a demon. What's happening? Radar shows a large number of unidentified dangerous objects approaching the prison walls at high speed from all directions. Too small. Not torpedoes. Switch to external. Underwater camera feed. What are those? He's going to use these little toys to blow open the titanium alloy shell. They won't blow it open. Tartarus can withstand depth charges. He's not here to blow it up. Zoom in on the mechanical arms of those submersibles. Good evening, Mr. Atom. Not to your taste? You can't get in. This place is absolutely safe. Absolutely safe. Professor Luo, since you saw through the isotope resonance trick, then you should know the principle of standing wave interference in physics. Su Chen, you wouldn't dare? Tartarus, prison's overall shape is a perfect cylindrical resonant cavity. I only need to make these 800 microoscillators on the outer wall vibrate continuously at the natural frequency of the prison's metal shell. This seawater at 200 meters depth and immense pressure is my perfect transmission medium. What's that sound? So many tricks. My mind is about to break. Get him out of the core zone immediately. That's the physical focal point of standing wave oscillation. Su Chen is turning it into a microwave oven. Damn it, the door is locked. Access control network unresponsive. Low-level driver code overwritten by external commands. Duanyu, establish a reverse physical connection. Regain control of the door locks. Commander, the targets did not invade through the external network. Spectrogram monitoring shows hundreds of microsensors on the outer wall are continuously emitting energy waves at specific frequencies. They use the physical characteristics of the sensing equipment to convert acoustic signals into complex command streams, achieving signal injection at the physical layer. Cut local power to Sector 0. Reset the underlying control board. In the prison's design standards, if Sector 0 suffers a localized power outage, the life support system's underlying logic will determine that it's under external physical attack. The system will automatically deploy titanium alloy blast doors, sealing the area in a complete vacuum for 72 hours. For physical breach, report, breach failed. Stop breaching. Prevent counterforce from fracturing your wrist. Report physical status inside the sector. The air inside the sector is showing visible optical distortion. The purified water spilled earlier on the floor is now forming regular geometric oscillation ripples in the puddle. That's the visualization of sound waves on a liquid surface. The entire cylindrical structure of the prison is acting as a giant resonant cavity. The frequencies emitted by the submersibles on the wall are resonating with the prison's natural frequency, and Sector 0, located at the geometric center, is precisely the antinode of this standing wave field. Stop. Name your price. How much do you need? Transfer request. Denied. Mr. Adam. The purified water you just drank contains high concentrations of sodium copper. It cannot be separated by conventional high-temperature distillation. That copper element is now attached to your digestive tract and bloodstream. The frequency of the external acoustic waves has been set to exactly match the atomic resonance frequency of that copper element. Stop. Organs are heating up. The frequency of the external sound wave I set to be exactly in resonance with the atomic frequency of this copper fiber. Stop the organ from heating. Microscopic particles within a confined space engage in ultra-high frequency motion. This process releases a tremendous amount of energy, a constant impact at the microscopic level. This feeling is exactly the energy repayment for the irreversible consequences you left in your past. Professor Luo, the target has stopped moving. Biomonitoring values dropped to 0. The target has completely ceased all life functions. The forensics department will perform an autopsy for confirmation. Bottom-level system reboot complete. Physical door locks in Sector 0 have been released. Professor Fong, time is precise. Physical execution has been carried out. Su Chen, your acoustic physics murder model, indeed left no direct weapon traces, but controlling 800 microdrones to perform millisecond-level synchronized frequency adjustments. Requires extremely low latency. Data transmission at a depth of 200 meters underwater. Conventional radio waves cannot penetrate. You're using a low-frequency acoustic modem. Right now, you're underwater in this area. Professor, active sonar, has detected irregular low-frequency reflection signals 300 meters directly below the prison platform. Signal characteristics rule out metal submersibles and torpedoes. Volume matches the size of an adult human, but no nitrogen emissions from compressed air tanks have been detected in the target area. No bubbles, it's unassisted free diving. He's using physiological limits to withstand the pressure. Deploy deep-sea anti-submarine nets immediately. Block his ascent route. Professor Luo, deploying anti-submarine nets is a sound tactic. But your physical capture net only covers the upward surface. If the area depth exceeds 350 meters, it will surpass the physiological limit of the human thoracic cavity. Diving deeper, pressure will crush your ribs. Normal physiological limits indeed apply, but if the human lungs can, in extreme conditions, compress gas to its utmost and utilize special muscle contractions to shift the load points of the chest structure, that limit can be postponed. The legal system relies on a closed chain of evidence. Adam exploited a loophole in that system to legally build a refinery and legally hide inside a prison. When the rules themselves become a shield, punishment based on those rules loses meaning. The calculation isn't over yet. Next coordinate. Target descending at a steady pace. Depth, 350 meters, 400 meters, 450 meters. Water pressure has already exceeded the theoretical survival limit for an unprotected human. Dense seabed hydrothermal vents and thermoclines exist in this area. Sonar is disrupted by temperature refraction. Target signal lost. The underlying protocol of the National Financial Private Network has been bypassed. Someone injected a data packet with the size of 0 bytes into the private network. Because 0 bytes contain no executable code, it's just a handshake request. 0 bytes. What's the use of that? The sender's IP address was dynamically masked. but I traced the routing node hop path. He's back. Lin Zijie represents reset. He's notifying us. The target is that vault. As the main repository of the Chengtang regime, it's an absolute operational state. That's a mountain of gold. An armed police squadron is stationed on the perimeter. Inside is a fully sealed underground bunker. Duan Yu, cut into the vault's internal surveillance network. I want to see live footage of the vault. Yeah. We received an alert from headquarters. At highest alert status, no record of the door's physical lock being opened. Dual biometric terminals, iris and fingerprint, are running normally. I need to confirm the physical status of the gold inside. Per regulations, opening the door requires a dual authorization key from headquarters. Authorization key has been sent. Open the door immediately. The gold is still here. All pallet lead seals are intact. This doesn't fit Su Chen's behavioral logic. He sent a warning, so the vault can't be untouched. The anti-counterfeit mark's fluorescence response is normal. Volume and density checkout. Su Chen's 0-byte packet. Could it just be a prank? Captain, sure. The final step of physical verification is destructive testing. It's tungsten alloy. Tungsten density is 19.35 grams per cubic centimeter. Gold density is 19.32. The two are almost identical in physical specific gravity. Right under your noses. Under round-the-clock surveillance. How did he move 50 tons of material in? The only access to the vault is the internal freight elevator. The elevator operation log shows no record of large tonnage cargo entering or leaving. Sensor floor tile data. Over the past 3 months, the pressure readings on the tiles remained at 50,230 kilograms. Error margin less than 200 grams. You used density difference to achieve mass substitution. He removes 1 gold bar and must replace it with a tungsten bar at the same moment to maintain the gravity sensor. 12 panoramic cameras. No blind spots. Even if he could turn invisible, physically swapping 50 tons would take a huge amount of time. Extract the underlying frame rate data from all surveillance footage. No evidence of editing, reverse playback, or frame freezing. The noise distribution on the footage also follows natural patterns. The ventilation fan blade rotation speed is fixed. Calculate the relative displacement of the fan blades in each frame. Displacement data extracted. The blade displacement shows, during specific time periods, a phase shift at millisecond intervals. After all, this is the camera's image sensor, when collecting physical light, being artificially injected with the same frequency interference light wave. Professor Luo's visual analysis remained sharp. He only records the parts of the image that change. You're still inside the vault. I'm just accessing the LAN audio port. No need to hack the system. I only need 3 modified high-lumen laser projectors. When the hologram refresh rate synchronizes physically with the camera's frame rate, the light signal captured by the lens becomes fixed. You blinded the cameras, but 50 tons of material couldn't be moved by manpower through the ventilation ducts. Duan Yu, pull up the modern logistics blueprints of this vault. AGV, automated guided vehicles, perform routine pallet sorting and dehumidification tasks. The vehicles run on magnetic strip tracks on the floor, connecting the vault to an external sterile buffer zone. Correct deduction. Over the past 90 nights, from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. daily, the surveillance entered optical concealment mode. The AGV car carried 200 kilograms of gold out to the buffer zone each time, and simultaneously brought 200 kilograms of tungsten back to the vault. Equivalent substitution. On the system's data report, it showed a perfect flat line. That area has independent security and manual verification. Your AGV car could not have loaded the gold directly onto an outside truck. The gold must still be inside the vault, or in this perimeter security building. All entries and exits require manual registration and X-ray scanning. No record of any large, high-density material being moved out. Lock down all physical exits of the security building. No one in or out. 10 tons of gold isn't small in volume. It can't be hidden easily. Moving it bit by bit like a colony of ants in a national facility. The first thing he needed was a high-clearance physical pass from inside. Without tacit approval at a high level and system-level cover, his laser projectors wouldn't even get through the main gate. This batch of gold was a hot potato from the start. You caught the right person. These 50 tons of gold aren't evidence of any equivalent value. They bribed the director, using the official vault's security level, to store private material reserves. In which structural part of the building did you hide the gold? The physical form of gold can be altered. 1064 degrees Celsius is the melting point of gold. Duanyu, check the security building for recent power consumption curves and renovation records. Over the past 3 months, there was a high-power, industrial-grade waste incinerator in B3 in a state of continuous high-frequency operation. It perfectly matches the physical parameters of an electromagnetic smelting furnace. The fluidity of liquid gold can solve the transport volume problem, but he needs pipes. 2 months ago, the building underwent a full-sealed central air conditioning condensate pipe replacement. The construction company was an outsourced firm. Where did the condensate pipes drain? Directly into the external, municipal underground drainage network. Don't open the pipes. He melted 50 tons of gold into liquid through specially insulated pipes, pumped it directly into the city's underground drainage system. 50 tons of liquid gold. If it cools and solidifies in the underground drainage network, it will cause large-scale physical blockages. It must be at some node in the network, where he set up a secondary collection container for the liquid metal. The specific gravity of the gold solution is extremely high. Flow rate is slow. Eventually, it converged into an underground air raid shelter, 1 kilometer away from the security building, an abandoned reservoir. Notify the armed police to surround that reservoir. How long? The vehicle traces show. All the programmed gold ingots have already been trucked away. Captain Sure, the logistics handover went very smoothly. Where was the gold transported to? Captain Sure, take a close look at the bottom inscriptions on those cast iron molds. This gold has been recast into food crafts that cannot circulate in the formal financial system. Within 48 hours, this food, through hundreds of anonymous Funghua logistics companies, was distributed to charities across the country and impoverished areas. Su Chen Group's account capital chain has completely snapped, using criminal means for resource redistribution. You don't have enforcement authority. When the warehouse manager artificially creates physical blind spots, enforcement authority is already invalid. The transaction bills, the physical hard drives, are placed in the first electrical distribution box at the reservoir entrance. You exploited visual persistence, used the melting point of metals, and accessed the city's pipeline network. Your application of physical engineering is impeccable. Transporting 50 tons of gold exposed your vast logistics network. We'll trace along the forklift tracks. My forklift only made a few loops inside the air raid shelter. It's above the shelter, that abandoned industrial railway spur. The next experiment, we will explore a more macroscopic physical structure. Goodbye, everyone. Professor Luo is the building committee's underlying physical monitoring network. It was forcibly awakened at the Sky Center building. Its wind-resistant damper displacement data has shown extremely severe logic errors. Export the physical readings of the weather center's wind speed sensors. A light breeze, no. Physical airflow sufficient to shake a super high-rise building. Pull up the internal surveillance of Sony Chisher. The damper moved on its own. Isn't this thing supposed to stabilize the building? The hydraulic servo system has been hijacked by a hacker. Its current physical motion is not counteracting the building's sway, but artificially shifting the building's center of gravity, forcibly twisting the load-bearing spine of the 400-meter tower. The electronic door locks on floor 7 are deadlocked. Floor 1. The PLC control cabinet has been implanted with a loop execution code. The damper has been forced to maximum. I've traced the source of the control signal. It's an internal physical port inside the cloud network. The intruder is inside the Sky Center building itself. Instantly topple a 400-meter steel structure building. Dear builders and investors, the 800-ton damper currently on the 98th floor is oscillating synchronously at a frequency of 15 times per minute. The overall verticality of the building has already experienced a physical offset of 0.5 degrees. Professor Luo, according to the current inclined plane energy superposition formula, this deformation parameter will completely tear apart the building's core. The shear walls, at a tangent of 3 degrees, the horizontal displacement of the top of the building will reach 20.9 meters. The building will suffer irreversible physical fracture. For hours. Inside the building, there are still 2,000 construction workers doing interior finishing. Countdown begins. Immediately lock down the weather center and all main roads within 2 kilometers. The building enters the highest level of physical evacuation procedure. He intends to use the safety of 2,000 people to create a massive crisis. This doesn't match his criminal profile. A legally topped-out building and 2,000 innocent workers don't possess the logical attributes for punishment. I'm trying to reverse take control of the damper's 4V hydraulic system. He didn't lock the physical brake valve. He is just inputting a specific vibration frequency into the system. What frequency? 1.2 Hz. That's the natural resonance frequency of this 400-meter steel structure building. He's using tiny synchronous resonance to make the building tear itself apart. Pull up the geological survey report of this building yourself. before the crisis is resolved. As the primary safety officer of the building, you must stay on site and provide core building parameters. It must be executed according to National Class A standards. That hacker is the one causing destruction. Go catch him. Why are you blocking me? You pulled up the plans. C60 high-strength self-compacting concrete foundation is used, driven 80 meters into the bedrock. Physical parameters are flawless. I want direct dialogue. For a 400-meter building and starry sky that meets C60 grade, its physical toughness can fully absorb this low-frequency energy. The building will at most sway, but the refuge floors are severely. This is not C60 high-strength concrete at all. You secretly downgraded the concrete grade from D. We have factory qualification reports from a third-party inspection agency. Reports can be forged. All 64 core load-bearing columns have been replaced with cheap, inferior C30 cement. Physical earthquake will instantly turn into a pile of steel trash burying tens of thousands. Using inferior cement for a 400-meter landmark building's load-bearing structure. This is not just economic crime. This is murder against humanity. The building acceptance reports are fraudulent end to end. In his hands, he must have the true raw data that was covered up. If the data is forged, the one who knows the underlying physical logic best must be the designer of the blueprints. But a month after the foundation was poured, he was fired due to a sudden heart attack. At a private nursing home outside Jinling City. It wasn't a heart attack. He was placed under house arrest for refusing to sign. The developer, Boss Wong, is exposed. To cover up the evidence of C30 cement, they will definitely strike hard. Depart within 10 minutes. Haha. We are municipal SWAT. You're safe. After knocking out the killer, he told me to give this to you. The real concrete setting core sampling data. Chloride ion content exceeds 400%. That building is a time bomb built on a sand pile. Boss Wong's gangster execution team was also physically subdued by Su Chen along the way. The building's resonance continues. Su Chen hasn't stopped his physical destruction program. All personnel stay away from the physical collapse zone. The PLC control cabinet has been wrapped in a 24-bit physical dynamic encryption lock. Any attempt will be bounced back by his algorithm. The inferior C30 load-bearing columns are undergoing irreversible buckling of the internal rebar. The developer has been arrested. Evidence has been handed over. What is the purpose of continuing to apply physical stress? Su Chen, Professor Luo, the abnormal structural sounds of the building. Do you hear them? That's the physical sound of inferior rebar snapping. The physical defects inside the building have been fully exposed. Unlock the damper immediately. Professor Luo, you are too superstitious about the existing rule system. The developer's top-tier legal team. They will use countless forged physical expert assessment reports to cover up the truth about this steel ball. They will legitimize shoddy engineering. This building will eventually be sold to unsuspecting civilians. It's far more corrupt than you think. That's the Class A standard. It can withstand a 3-degree shift, but it cannot withstand being fully exposed under the sunlight, in front of millions of people in the city. I want this building to become a physical pillar of shame they can never whitewash. Substandard thin rebar, and they even filled it with construction waste and bamboo strips. This is a pile of pure garbage. The feed is already live across the entire network. It will be forcibly and permanently demolished by explosion. Su Chen went all the way. Data sampling complete. Go downstairs. Don't bother cleaning up. He's in the car. Seal all physical exits. Su Chen is on floor 98. There's absolutely no way he'll escape. Is it? Number 3. Go after the developer. See you at the next meeting. Deep Blue National Disaster Recovery Data Center in the far north. Abnormal data flow in the bottom layer temperature control system. Deep Blue Data Center is built 50 meters under the permafrost. Its servers, cooling system relies on polar natural low temperatures and liquid nitrogen. Auxiliary system. set to a constant temperature of minus 20 degrees. But 3 minutes ago, the temperature sensor reading in the core storage area dropped to minus 80 degrees. The liquid nitrogen valve is physically locked at maximum output. Pull up the hardware network topology of Deep Blue Data Center. Prevent display, the cooling system's programmable logic. Controller is physically isolated from the external network. The command modification is not a remote intrusion. Someone entered the core machine room 50 meters underground and manually changed the opening parameters of the hydraulic valve. What data does Deep Blue Data Center store? National Gene Bank backup and some top-secret deep-sea geological exploration. Physical data. He didn't go there to steal data. Minus 80 degrees has already exceeded the physical operating lower limit of conventional cargo aircraft chips. He's using liquid nitrogen physics to cut off the data center's transmission channels to the outside world. He wants to create an information island. Captain Sure, we have arrived at the ground entrance. The external biometric access control system has lost power. Infrared thermal imager in blizzard conditions suffers severe heat attenuation interference, unable to detect heat source distribution in the underground structure. Cut off the external physical pipeline of the liquid nitrogen storage tank. Stop supplying liquid nitrogen underground. The pressure gauge on the external industrial pipeline reads 0. Liquid nitrogen is not being input from outside. He is using the backup liquid nitrogen stored inside the underground machine room circulation system. Professor Luo's knowledge of semiconductor physics remains accurate. The 300 servers in the core storage area have entered physical hibernation. Su Chen, you have frozen state secrets. There is a decomposition point. What physical information are you covering up? I'm not covering up information. I'm performing physical preservation. You should check whether this 10,000 square meter underground, constant temperature space contains only silicon-based servers. The operating temperature of silicon-based chips is minus 80 degrees. But the non-destructive cryopreservation temperature for carbon-based biological cells is minus 196 degrees. Cryopreservation temperature for carbon-based biological cells. So, scan the bottom layer architectural drawings of Deep Blue Data Center. Calculate the ratio of cooling system heat exchange power to the actual server heat dissipation power. Thermodynamic data extraction complete. The backup liquid nitrogen circulation system of Deep Blue Data Center has a designed maximum cooling power of 500 megawatts, but the full load heat output of 300 servers, plus geothermal conduction, only requires 100 megawatts of cooling. There is a 400% physical surplus in cooling power. This is not prepared for the servers. Minus 196 degrees is the boiling point of liquid nitrogen, and also the standard for cryopreservation of human stem cells and embryos. Standard. Physical temperature. The data center's first underground floor holds the servers. On the second underground floor not indicated on the physical drawings, there exists a giant human cryopreservation vault that consumes 400 megawatts of cooling power. (120 independent cryogenic chambers. Liquid nitrogen level normal. Chamber physical temperature minus 196 degrees. Who exactly are you? Destroying this environment will cause the system to collapse completely. The life forms in the chambers will undergo irreversible changes. They were already dead by medical definition. This is an unauthorized, illegal physical cryopreservation facility. These chambers hold the nation's top billionaires and core members of interest groups suffering terminal diseases. They tried to use ultra-low temperatures to halt cell metabolism, waiting for future medical technology to physically awaken them. Professor Luo, this is not just an unethical cryogenic vault. Maintaining 120 cryogenic chambers requires tens of thousands of tons of liquid nitrogen per year and an extremely large amount of electricity. These billionaires, to preserve their physical shells, use their energy companies to illegally divert the winter heating energy of 3 prefecture-level cities in the far north distribution network, converting it into dedicated power for the data center. Supply diverted city heating energy. No wonder the far north has experienced frequent physical blackouts and regional heating outages over the past 3 winters. They are using the physical temperature of millions of civilians to keep their own shells cold. Su Chen, you cut off the physical input pipe of liquid nitrogen. Liquid nitrogen will continuously vaporize at room temperature. You intend to destroy these cryogenic chambers through physical warming. Professor, the second law of thermodynamics is irreversible. I have already closed all liquid nitrogen physical supply valves. According to the heat conduction coefficient at room temperature, after 72 hours, the temperature inside the cryogenic chambers will cross the glass transition threshold of minus 130 degrees. Critical point. Intracellular water will recrystallize, physically puncturing cell membranes. The bodies of these billionaires will turn into a pile of carbon-based organic mush with no hope of revival. The blast door is made of titanium nickel alloy. with an intermediate layer filled with insulating ceramics. I believe an explosion would damage the underground load-bearing structure, causing the permafrost to physically collapse. The SWAT team cannot physically break through within 72 hours. We need to regain the underlying permissions of the temperature control system. Analyze the control logic of the temperature control system. The system's physical motherboard is inside the underground machine room. Su Chen has set a physical infinite loop code. As long as the motherboard detects that the external temperature is above -50 degrees, it will trigger the liquid nitrogen emergency release valve, venting all stored liquid nitrogen into the external permafrost layer. Using temperature difference as a trigger switch, if we forcibly blow in hot air to raise the ambient temperature, it will actually accelerate the physical loss of the frozen chambers. Biological information system. Recorded. The true physical identities of these first 120 clients and the flow of funds. Ledger. This ledger is stored in an independent flash array on the second underground floor. Currently, due to extreme low temperature, the flash array is in physical hibernation. Su Chen's goal is not mere physical destruction. He wants this list and the underlying evidence of energy diversion. He needs this data as physical proof for judgment. When the temperature rises back to -40 degrees, the physical read-write function of the flash array will recover. That is his only time window to extract the data. Su Chen, I am the investment representative of the cryogenic vault. Your act of closing the liquid nitrogen valve has constituted serious physical asset destruction. Using the coal supply for heating 3 million civilians to buy 120 cold, lifeless bodies. Your asset valuation model lacks basic physical equivalence principles. You cannot extract the list data from the flash memory. The flash array is equipped with a physical tamper detection device. If the temperature rise curve deviates from the preset smooth thawing algorithm, the internal microcircuit breakers will physically burn out the chips immediately. The thermodynamic conduction model can be manually interfered with. I don't need to thaw it. That flash memory array. Physical intervention has begun. Dipole molecular oscillations generate heat. Heat is generated directly on the surface of the metal cabinet and diffuses inward at a controlled physical rate. Perfectly conforms to the physical anti-self-destruct program's smooth thawing algorithm. Professor Luo, Deep Blue data center's land traffic is spiking. Physical pulse reaches -40 degrees Celsius. Bottom layer physical read/write functions restored. Su Chen is extracting the list data. How is the physical oil cutting progressing? Cutting is 80% complete. It will take another 4 hours to uncover the report. After the data extraction is complete, Su Chen will immediately evacuate the space 50 meters underground. He must rely on the existing physical pipes to escape. Pull up the exhaust and ventilation blueprints of a data center. There is only one set. An overpressure exhaust shaft for venting vaporized nitrogen. Shaft diameter, 80 centimeters. Vertical height, 10 meters. Temperature, -80 degrees Celsius. Directly to the surface and filled with high concentration pure nitrogen. Su Chen, you've already obtained the list data, but you face the negative ion overpressure discharge technique. Your underwater survival skills cannot, in a gas environment lacking oxygen molecules, maintain neuronal oxygen supply. Professor Luo, the physical oxygen demand of a living organism truly cannot be changed. I only need to change the physical pressure inside the exhaust shaft and the ascent rate. Check the liquid nitrogen pipeline pressure data in the underground server room. Professor Luo, Su Chen has closed all the pressure relief safety valves. He took the remaining 10 tons of liquid nitrogen in the reserve tank. All of it, injected all at once into the open vaporization tank inside the server room. When liquid nitrogen converts to gaseous nitrogen, the volume expands physically by a factor of 700. 10 tons of liquid nitrogen inside the sealed underground server room instantly vaporizes, generating an extremely terrifying physical air pressure. 16. Immediately have the breach team SWAT move away from the blast door. The physical pressure inside the server room is forcing the data to rise. The blast door will, by the internal air pressure, be blown open like a cannonball. All SWAT officers retreat 100 meters and find physical cover. The physical turbulence from the 700-fold volume expansion. Airflow ascent speed reaches 80 meters per second. This is my physical elevator. He uses the kinetic energy of liquid nitrogen vaporization expansion to launch himself like a cannonball. The hang glider's air radar reflectivity is strong enough. All 120 people are monopoly energy, healthcare, and infrastructure industry's top capital controllers. This list, once published, will directly destroy the black interests of 3 provincial administrative regions. Physical chain. The temperature rise in the cryopods is irreversible. Physical death and judicial liquidation will arrive simultaneously. He used physical absolute zero to freeze the lifespans of these people. Then using physics thermal expansion and contraction, he destroyed their defenses. Extreme rationality, coupled with a perfect application of physical laws. His crime model has no conventional flaws anymore. Professor Luo, can we still catch him? As long as he still interferes with causality in the physical world, he will leave traces of energy conversion. He destroyed the existing rules, but he must establish a new physical balance. The next note, he will challenge the more fundamental operating logic. Professor Luo, the National Quantum Computing Center. Panga's bottom-level physical computing power allocation has anomalies. Conventional algorithms cannot mobilize all the qubits. But 3 minutes ago, 90% of Panga's center's computing power was forcibly taken over by an unknown parallel program. That program is running Shor's algorithm. What is the physical effect of Shor's algorithm? It uses quantum superposition to perform prime factorization. The underlying security cornerstone of the global financial system is RSA, asymmetric encryption. A traditional computer would take 10,000 years to crack it. Shor's algorithm, combined with Panga's computing power, only needs 4 hours to complete the physical cracking. He wants to crack the encryption keys of the global financial system. This would cause all bank account numbers to lose physical protection. Pull up the building energy consumption readings of Panga's Center. Panga's Center is located in an underground cavern in the western interior. Current power consumption is 2 gigawatts. Quantum decoherence effect requires extremely low ambient noise and a physical temperature near absolute zero. It needs to maintain 4 hours of extreme quantum operation. Someone must be on site to perform physical-level overclocking intervention on the dilution refrigerator of the quantum chip. 19. Notify the Western Theater Command SWAT unit. Target is in the Panga's Center underground server room. Refrigerator mixing chamber. Temperature reduced to 10 millikelvin. Qubit. Coherence time extended by 40%. Computing power reaches the cracking threshold. Audio channel. Manager Su Chen, you have occupied national-level quantum computing power, disrupted the RSA encryption system. This will cause global financial data to experience physical-level chaos. Modern society's material allocation depends on the accuracy of financial numbers. This will trigger actual famine and supply chain breakdowns. Professor Luo's macroeconomics and causality derivation from physics are accurate, but I am running Shor's algorithm. Not to destroy ordinary people's bank accounts. The target of my cracking is hidden beneath the financial bricks and tiles. A predictive behavioral model called Profit. Predictive behavioral model. It through collecting physical data from 40 billion IoT nodes globally, using quantum computing power, predicts market fluctuations and human group behavior. This algorithm was continuously exploited by 9 multinational capitals. They use the predictive ability to create financial tides in the physical world, legally harvesting underlying assets. They are ghosts in the algorithm. Today, I will physically clear this code. Captain Sure, the ground blast door uses a mechanical complex lock. The electronic control assembly has been cut off. The armored vehicle's thermal cutting operation is estimated to take 2 hours. Professor Luo, conventional breach time, exceeds his cracking countdown. Does Panga's Center have any other physical ventilation systems? Yes, pull up the cooling and heat dissipation blueprints of Panga's Center. Panga's Center relies on underground river water for primary heat exchange. At the building's minus 50-meter level, there is a physical drainage culvert with a diameter of 2 meters, connecting to an external underground river. SWAT can use diving equipment to enter the underground server room against the current through the drainage culvert. What is the water temperature data? Underground river water temperature is 4 degrees Celsius, but currently, the sensor at the drain outlet shows the water temperature is dropping sharply. The water body is beginning to show physical icing. Liquid nitrogen is discharged directly into the underground heat exchange pool. Liquid nitrogen vaporization absorbs a large amount of ambient heat. Water bottom temperature will drop below freezing within 5 minutes. The physical passage of the seawater cold cave has been blocked by ice. You use thermodynamics to seal the cold cave, but you have also sealed your own physical escape route. The algorithm cracking requires 4 hours. SWAT's breach only needs 2 hours. The time variable is against you. Professor Luo, after SWAT cuts open the blast door, they need to go through a 300-meter-long descent tunnel. I have activated the electromagnetic shielding inside the tunnel. Acoustic generator. Not only the night vision goggles, communication devices, and electronic sites will undergo physical failure the moment they enter the tunnel. They can only rely on flashlights for physical groping. This will extend their advance time to 3 hours. In my calculation of physical time, I have reserved a 15-minute margin. You destroyed the profit model, cut off the predictive ability of the capital oligarchs. But this will not change the physical reality of social wealth distribution. The oligarchs still control the means of production. The physical status quo requires an external force to break the balance. After the Shor's algorithm cracking is completed, I will not only delete the profit model, I will broadcast the core predictive code of the model via low-orbit communication satellites. Open source. Broadcast to all physical secrets of the global internet. When everyone can predict the future, the value of the predictive ability will drop to zero. The information asymmetry of capital will be completely erased. Electromagnetic pulse shielding. Abandon electronic devices. Use high-intensity flashlights and mechanical battering rams. There are multiple physical isolation doors inside the physical advance tunnel. Maintain steady pace in breaching. Professor Luo, SWAT has entered the electronic blind zone. We've lost physical communication with the assault team. The data from the Pengus Center. Uplink speed has peaked. Shore's algorithm decryption progress, 85%. At most another 40 minutes. Limit. The model's RSA key will be physically cracked. He's going to open source the prediction model. The operation of human society depends on the physical potential difference created by information asymmetry. If the grassroots gain access to prediction algorithms equivalent to those of the oligarchs, the existing financial order will collapse in an instant avalanche. Your physical purchasing power will be zeroed out by the collapse of the credit system. This isn't just an attack on the oligarchs. It's a dimensional reduction strike on the current structure of civilization. How do we stop the data broadcast? The broadcast relies on the satellite antenna at the central server room. Physical array. Duanyu. Calculate the rock density of the mountain where the Pengus Center is located. If the SWAT team can't cut the antenna power in time, we need to physically shield it from the outside. Su Chen's absolute information symmetry will lead to thermodynamic heat death. No information gap. The social system will lose its physical driving force. Production halts. Logistics paralyze. The fairness you expect manifests physically as absolute stillness. That is the death state of civilization. Professor Luo, the current system isn't flowing. It's undergoing a one-way physical siphon. 99% of wealth mass is collapsing toward the apex. This will form a sociological black hole. A black hole will eventually tear apart all physical structures that approach it. I open-sourced the code to trigger a controlled explosion. Redistribute the fundamental matter of the system. Pain is the necessary energy expenditure to rebuild physical structures. Decryption progress, 90%. You've already breached the last physical isolation door. You're 50 meters from your server room. You don't have physical time to complete the upload. The subjective perception of physical time depends on the observer's reference frame, and at the quantum level of computation, 1 second is enough to change everything. Approaching the Shaolin physical payment point. Prepare to breach. Initialize the broadcast program. Activate target low Earth orbit communication satellite cluster. Professor Luo, we've arrived physically above the antenna array. The server room is buried deep underground. We can't intervene physically. Cut his physical transmission medium. Deploy graphite dust bombs to cover the exterior of the Pengus Center. To form an antenna cage. Graphite dust has extremely high physical conductivity. It will form a Faraday cage on the antenna surface. Physically block all electromagnetic emission signals. Understood. Deploying graphite dust. Su Chen, the graphite dust has blocked your microwave communication. You can't send data to space either. The physical layer information broadcast has been cut. Su Chen, step away from the console. Hands on your head. Professor Luo, the physical conductivity of graphite dust does indeed form a perfect Faraday cage. Before I came here, I reviewed the original physical construction archives of the Pengus Center to counter electromagnetic pulse disasters caused by strikes. The Pengus Center, besides the satellite antenna, also laid a deep buried, military-grade anti-jamming fiber optic cable. That cable connects directly to the main undersea cable in the East China Sea. Light signal transmission doesn't rely on electromagnetic emission. The physical switch for the underground fiber optic cable was decommissioned and sealed 10 years ago. You need a physical hardware authorization key to reactivate it. I took some time and forged one myself. Optical transmission speed, 200,000 kilometers per second. Goodbye, Professor Luo. Stop him. Maintain formation. Monkey, the cabin entrance isn't camouflaged yet. He can't run out. SWAT team leader, the recovery chute pipe diameter is 80 centimeters, directly connected to the deep water layer of the underground river. Water temperature, 4 degrees Celsius. Water pressure, 15 atmospheres. My lung capacity and oxygen efficiency are enough for me to hold my breath underwater for 6 minutes. Physics always has multiple paths. Professor Luo, the data packet has already spread to 40 million physical nodes worldwide. The underlying encryption has been removed. Anyone can download and run this prediction algorithm. Physical trading volume in international financial markets has dropped by 90% in the past minute. Guatu's quantitative trading programs, having lost their information advantage, all triggered the circuit breaker mechanism. The physical transfer of capital has stopped. Did we lose? He's overturned the rules of the entire world. No, there's no winning or losing. He only pushed the system to upgrade. Old physical structures collapse. New physical structures will rebuild on the ruins. That's the inevitable result of thermodynamics. As law enforcers, what we need to do, before the new physical equilibrium is established, is maintain the most basic order of survival. We found items left behind by the suspect at the physical exit. The items are a handwritten notebook of physics formula derivations. These aren't ordinary formulas. This is the underlying logical derivation of Shor's algorithm. He left a sentence on the last line. The observer effect. As long as we keep watching this abyss, the abyss cannot arbitrarily rewrite the laws of physics. I will keep watching, Su Chen.